Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. I want to take a minute and do an additional piece of content to my to the previous piece of content that's out there, the last one that was posted. And specifically, I just want to address two issues. And that is who we are electing, quote unquote, electing to office, and we are allowing to vote. And specifically, I want to look at Zoran, the destroyer of cities, Zoran Mondani, and Ocasio-Cortez. Okay? Now, look, this is just a fact. What I'm about to talk about is absolute fact. Okay? Now, if we were to go back to, let's say, 1790, okay, in the state of New York, the founding fathers of the state of New York would have not allowed Zoran Mondani to vote or be allowed to be elected to office. One of the main reasons that would disallow him from being able to vote or allow him to run for office is the simple fact that he does not own property. He's not a stakeholder. The founding fathers understood that it would be beneficial to have a property-owning stakeholder have the ability to vote, have the responsibility to vote, versus someone who was not part of ownership of a freehold. That was the definition in New York. You had to be a owner of a freehold. You had to own property. Zoran Mondani does not own property. Ocasio-Cortez does not own property. She owns no property. None. Zero. Zilch. As a matter of fact, Zoran Mondani realistically is not an American. Okay? He was born in Uganda, and the only property he actually owns is a parcel of land in Uganda that he essentially inherited. But he's not a stakeholder. He does not own property. He rents property. And again, if we go back to the founding fathers, the founding documents, the founding ideas, and there was a reason they decided to do certain things. If we were to go back to those founding ideas and apply them to today, we would not have many of the issues that we presently have, right? We would not have neoliberal communists that want to take away private property rights. Ocasio-Cortez does not own property. She does not own a home. She rents. She's talked about the seizing of private property rights. Zoran Mondani, socialist, communist, call it what you will, does not own property, is not a stakeholder, and according to the founding documents of the state of New York, would not have been allowed to vote and would not be allowed to run for office. But because of neoliberalism and looking at the Constitution, whether it be the state or federal documents, as a living, breathing document that can be changed, and believe you me, AOC and Zoran Mondani, the destroyer of cities, will and or attempt to change the Constitution. No, we are not a democracy. We are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. And again, if we go back to those original documents, Zoran Mandami would not have been allowed to vote, nor would he have been allowed to run for office. And he should not be allowed. As with Ocasio-Cortez, she should not be allowed to run for office or vote for a number of reasons. And this was done through reasonable and rational thought processes. You do not want to create a voting bloc of non-stakeholders that would like to take away the private property rights of your citizenry. That's what he would like to do. That's what he wants to do. That's what Ocasio-Cortez wants to do. Jenny Cortez wants to take away your private property rights. So again, if we go back to, again, the original intent of the founding fathers, be it federal or state, these two individuals would have been disallowed to run for office and vote, as would a lot of these individuals in New York City that are creating or attempting to create their variation of a socialist utopia, which is going to destroy New York City. And yes, there are folks that believe that this just needs to happen, right? Let them destroy the city, let them work through this, and eventually it will self-correct. But it may not self-correct. It may not self-correct. They may destroy something and you may never get it back. And those are the safeguards that were put in place in 1790 and before that to prevent individuals like a foreign national, Zoran Mandami, that comes from a broken nation state. And when you import individuals from broken nation states to then have the ability to run for office, you are going to get a broken nation state here. If you allow them in, they will break your society. And he's doing that, as is old Jenny Cortez, a non-property owning female who should not be allowed to run for office. Or vote, for that matter. That is my opinion. As always, thanks for stopping by and listening, and have a good day.